In the quiet of the night, when the room is breathing slow, I lay my head down, but my heart won't let go. The day left a shadow on the edge of my mind, and worries come walking in a long patient line. So I whisper your name like a light in the dark, like a steady old hymn when the world feels stark. I don't bring a speech, I don't bring a disguise. I bring what is heavy, I bring what I hide. Lord, I'm tired in places sleep can't reach, tired of holding it all, tired of being fine. I've smiled through the pressure, I've swallowed the fear, and now in the silence it all reappears. But you are here, you are here, closer than my breath, gentle and near. If my thoughts start racing, slow them down. If my chest feels tight, let your peace come around. If my past feels loud, soften the sound. If tomorrow feels huge, hold it for now. I surrender the hours I can't control. I surrender the questions that pull at my soul. I surrender the need to fix every crack, the need to stay strong, the need to fight back. Tonight I release what I cannot carry. Tonight I unclench what I've held in my hands. I place every burden, every secret worry in the safety of grace that understands. Let the lamp glow warm, let the night stay still, let your mercy settle like calm on a hill. Let the silence turn holy, not empty, not cold, but a shelter of love where my heart can be held. You see every tear I never let fall, every prayer I meant but couldn't call. You know the sharp corners of what I endure, and you meet me with kindness, steady and sure. So I breathe in your goodness, slow and deep. I breathe out the fear that steals my sleep. I breathe in, you've got me. I breathe out, I can't. I breathe in, surrender. I breathe out my plans. You are my refuge, my resting place, not earned by effort, but given by grace. When shadows stretch long and doubts arise, you keep your promise in quiet skies. Stay with me, Jesus. the storm tries to rise in my dreams, let it fade like mist on a river of peace. If my body remembers old pain and old stress, speak softly within me, my child, you can rest. I don't need to prove anything here, I don't need to perform, I don't need to pretend. I am not alone in this room, in this dark, for your presence is home, and your love is my friend. Peace for my thoughts, peace for my bones, peace for the places nobody knows. Cover me with a quiet protection, a gentle assurance, a holy direction. Let your hand be near, though unseen to my eyes, like the stars that keep shining in wide, faithful skies. You hold what I fear, you hold what I face, you hold me together in patient grace. So I will rest, even if I feel weak. I will rest, even if answers don't speak. I will rest, because you do not sleep, and your love keeps watch while my eyelids sink deep. If this prayer has brought you peace tonight, you are welcome to stay with us. Subscribe to this channel and return whenever your heart needs rest. You are not alone here. When the night grows deeper and the world feels far away, my body lies in silence, but my mind wants to stay awake. Thoughts move slowly at first, then they circle back around, replaying every moment, every worry without a sound. The ceiling listens patiently to all I cannot say, to fears about tomorrow and mistakes from yesterday. I try to breathe through it, try to quiet every thought, but anxiety remembers everything I forgot. So I call your name softly, not loud, not in despair, just a whisper in the darkness, knowing you are there. I don't need a miracle, I don't need a sign, I just need your presence in this restless mind. If my heart beats faster in the middle of the night, slow it with your nearness, wrap it in your light. If my thoughts feel tangled, too heavy to untie, hold them with compassion, don't ask me why. I am worn from carrying things I steady when everything feels strange. I've learned how to function, learned how to appear, but you see the shaking underneath the fear. Tonight I stop pretending I'm in control. Tonight I stop rehearsing every possible road. I lay down the pressure, the need to stay ahead, and rest my tired spirit on what you said. You said you would guard me when I lie down to sleep. You said your peace would run deeper than my need. You said I am held even when I feel unsure, and your promises remain faithful and secure. So I loosen my grip on what keeps me tense, the questions with no answers, the worries that make no sense. I give you the future I keep trying to hold, the fears I repeat but never told. Let the quiet do its work inside of me, let the stillness be kind, let it set me free. Not every thought needs to finish its race, not every feeling needs solving tonight. I imagine your hand resting over my heart, steady and warm, never pulled apart. With every slow breath the weight starts to ease, and my body remembers what it means to release. If the night feels long, remind me it'll pass. If doubt feels loud, speak softer and last. If old fears return dressed in familiar pain, cover them gently with patience again. I don't need to be fearless to find your peace, I don't need perfect faith for the noise to cease. I only need to stay, to not run away, to trust you are here in the quiet delay. Watch over my thoughts as they begin to slow, stand between my heart and the things I don't know. Let rest arrive without effort or force, like calm water finding its natural course. And if I wake briefly in the dark of this night, remind me I'm safe, remind me you're right here. No moment escapes you, no breath goes unseen, even the space between what has been. I place my worries where they no longer shout, I place my fears where they lose their power. I place my trust not in what I can see, but in the God who stays awake for me. So let my sleep come slowly, honest and deep. Let my soul finally stop trying to keep watch. You are the guardian I no longer need to be, and your peace will carry what I release. When morning arrives, it can come in its time. For now I am covered, for now I am fine. Here in the stillness, after the storm, I rest in the promise that I am not alone. When the night grows deeper and the world feels far away, my body lies in silence, but my mind wants to stay awake. Thoughts move slowly at first, then they circle back around, replaying every moment, every worry without a sound. The ceiling listens patiently to all I cannot say, to fears about tomorrow and mistakes from yesterday. I try to breathe through it, try to quiet every thought, but anxiety remembers everything I forgot. So I call your name softly, not loud, not in despair, just a whisper in the darkness, knowing you are there. I don't need a miracle, I don't need a sign. I just need your presence in this restless mind. If my heart beats faster in the middle of the night, slow it with your nearness, wrap it in your light. If my thoughts feel tangled, too heavy to untie, hold them with compassion, don't ask me why. I am worn from carrying things I cannot change, from trying to be steady when everything feels strange. I've learned how to function, learned how to appear, but you see the shaking underneath the fear. Tonight I stop pretending I'm in control. Tonight I stop rehearsing every possible road. I lay down the pressure, the need to stay ahead, and rest my tired spirit on what you said. You said you would guard me when I lie down to sleep. You said your peace would run deeper than my need. You said I am held even when I feel unsure, and your promises remain faithful and secure. So I loosen my grip on what keeps me tense, the questions with no answers, the worries that make no sense. I give you the future I keep trying to hold, the fears I repeat but never told. Let the quiet do its work inside of me. Let the stillness be kind, let it set me free. Not every thought needs to finish its race, not every feeling needs solving tonight. I imagine your hand resting over my heart, steady and warm, never pulled apart. With every slow breath, the weight starts to ease, and my body remembers what it means to release. If the night feels long, remind me it will pass. If doubt feels loud, speak softer and last. If old fears return, dressed in familiar pain, cover them gently with patience again. I don't need to be fearless to find your peace. I don't need perfect faith for the noise to cease. I only need to stay, to not run away, to trust you are here in the quiet delay. You watch over my thoughts as they begin to slow, stand between my heart and the things I don't know. Let rest arrive without effort or force, like calm water finding its natural course. And if I wake briefly in the dark of this night, remind me I'm safe, remind me you're right here. No moment escapes you, no breath goes unseen, even the spaces between what has been. I place my worries where they no longer shout, I place my fears where they lose their power. I place my trust not in what I can see, but in the God who stays awake for me. So let my sleep come slowly, honest and deep. Let my soul finally stop trying to keep watch. You are the guardian I no longer need to be, and your peace will carry what I release. When morning arrives, it can come in its time. For now I am covered, for now I am fine. Here in the stillness, after the storm, I rest in the promise that I am not alone. And the night feels slower now, softer than before, as if time itself has decided to be gentle. My body sinks into stillness, and for the first time today, I am not resisting rest. I notice how tired I truly am, not only in my muscles, but in my thoughts, in my emotions, in the quiet places where worry lived all day. I have spent hours holding myself together, answering, deciding, enduring. Now I give myself permission to stop. I no longer need to stay prepared. I no longer need to remain strong. Rest comes without effort. I do not chase it. I do not force my mind to be silent. I simply allow peace to arrive at its own pace. With each breath, my body remembers what safety feels like. Tension loosens where it hid, and my thoughts begin to drift, not in fear, but in calm surrender. You are here, not urging me to change, not asking me to explain myself. Your presence alone creates space for healing. Nothing more is required. I release the weight of expectations, the pressure to be productive, the need to make sense of everything tonight. This moment does not demand understanding, it only invites rest. If sleep comes slowly, I welcome it patiently. If it comes quickly, I trust it completely. Either way, I am safe. I no longer fight the stillness. I let it cover me like a warm blanket, quietly restoring what the day has taken. My breathing deepens, my heart steadies. Even my thoughts feel less sharp now. They soften at the edges, losing their urgency. Nothing needs immediate attention. Nothing is being lost by resting. You work gently while I sleep. repairing what I could not fix, renewing what was drained, strengthening what feels fragile. I trust this unseen work. I lay down my awareness of time. Minutes no longer matter. The night unfolds without pressure, and I move with it, unhurried. Let my rest be deep and honest. Let it reach beyond my body into the quiet places of my soul. Let it restore me without noise, without interruption. If I wake briefly, I will not panic. I will simply breathe and remember that you are still here. Peace has not left. This rest is not earned, it is given. Not because I finished everything, but because I am loved. So I surrender to sleep without fear, without effort, knowing that while I rest, grace continues its quiet work. The night is grown familiar now, no longer heavy, no longer short. It feels like a quiet companion sitting beside me as I begin to let go of everything I carried into this darkness. My body is resting, but something deeper is happening inside. My heart is slowly learning that it does not need to stay tense, that it does not need to brace for impact. Grace settles gently, not rushing, not demanding attention. It does not arrive with noise or force. It simply stays steady and patient, waiting for me to notice. I think about the things I feared earlier, how loud they felt before the night softened them. The worries that seem so urgent now feel smaller, not because they disappeared, but because I am no longer alone with them. You remain here with me, unchanged by my doubts, unmoved by my weakness. Your presence does not fade as the hours pass. It remains faithful and home. I realize that grace is not something I reach for. It is something that finds me. Then here, even now, when I am quiet and I have nothing left to offer, grace stays when my strength runs out. It stays when my prayers grow quiet. It stays when I fall asleep and cannot hold on to anything at all. This is the kindness that does not leave. I release the last of my resistance. I stop measuring my worth by how well I cope. I stop asking myself if I did enough today. Tonight I am enough, simply because I am loved. If tomorrow brings challenges, grace will be there too. If tomorrow brings joy, grace will still remain. It does not depend on circumstances. For now, grace wraps around this moment, covering the silence, covering my breath, covering the fragile spaces inside me that needy gentleness the most. I rest knowing that nothing I am can make you step away. Not my fear, not my fatigue, not my unanswered questions. Praise is not fragile. It does not vanish when the lights go out. It does not awaken when I do. quiet journey, unhurried, steady kind. Time no longer feels like something I must watch. It moves on its own, and I am allowed to move with it. My breathing has found a gentle rhythm, no longer shallow, no longer rushed. Each inhale feels like trust, each exhale like release. I am no longer holding myself together. There were moments today that asked too much of me, moments that drained what I did not realize I was spending. Now those moments fade into the distance, losing their sharp edges, softened by rest. I sense your nearness, not as a sound, not as a vision, but as a quiet assurance that surrounds me completely. Nothing presses and nothing threatens. I am being held through these hours of night, not by my own strength, not by my awareness, but by care that does not sleep. When I finally do, if worries attempt to rise again, they find no place to stand. Peace fills the space they once occupied, not by force, but by presence. I no longer measure this night by productivity. I no longer count minutes or anticipate alarms. This time is not for doing, it is for being restored. I trust you with what tomorrow may bring. I trust you with what I do not yet see. I trust that nothing waits me that will arrive without your grace already there. My thoughts drift gently now, no longer forming complete sentences. They soften into images of safety, into feelings of warmth, into rest. You remain constant even as my awareness fades, even as sleep deepens. You do not move away. You remain the same, steady and faithful. I do not need to guard myself tonight. I do not need to remain alert. I have stepped out of vigilance and into care. Every part of me is allowed to rest, even the parts that stay tense without permission, even the parts that learned long ago how to survive instead of how to rest. Tonight, survival gives way to peace. Effort gives way to trust. Control gives way to grace. I'm held through the hours of night, through every passing moment, through dreams and silence alike. Nothing interrupts this covering, and sleep takes me fully. It does so gently. There is no falling, no fear, only sinking into safety. And my morning eventually approaches. You'll find me restored, not because I worked for rest, but because rest was given. Until then, I remain here, quiet, secure, and deeply held. The night has wrapped everything in softness, as if the world itself has slowed its breathing. Nothing rushes me now, nothing asks for answers. I am allowed to simply be here. My heart, once alert and restless, begins to feel guarded, not watched with tension, but protected with care, as if peace itself has taken its place at the door. I notice how quiet feels different now, not empty, not heavy, but full of a presence that steadies me without asking anything in return. Earlier my thoughts wanted to defend themselves, to prepare for what might come. Now they rest, knowing there is nothing they must solve tonight. Peace stands where worry once argued. I sense this peace gently surrounding my heart, not pressing inward, not closing me off, but holding space where fear used to live. This is not silence alone. This is safety. If a memory drifts close, it does not overwhelm me. If a concern passes through, it does not stay. Everything moves more slowly under this quiet protection. I am not responsible for guarding myself. I am not required to stay strong. Peace takes that role now, faithful and calm, never distracted. I feel my chest loosen, my breathing deepen, my thoughts soften even more. The night is doing its work, and I am not interrupting it. Nothing about this peace feels fragile. It does not depend on my mood. It does not disappear when I am tired. It remains steady, watchful without effort. Even my heartbeat feels different, as if it has learned a safer rhythm. Each beat reminds me that I am alive and cared for. I trust this peace to stand through the darkness, to remain while I sleep, to guard the places inside me that once felt exposed. I do not need to check on it. It will not leave. If dreams come, let them pass through this peace. If sleep deepens, let peace deepen with it. There is no part of this night where I am unprotected. I release the last habit of tension. I let go of the instinct to brace myself. I choose rest not as an effort, but as a response to safety. Peace does not rush the night. It allows it to unfold naturally, minute by minute. My body and soul sink further into calm. Nothing threatens this stillness. Nothing interrupts this care. Peace stands quietly, faithful and present, guarding my heart. As the night continues, I sleep without fear. I sleep without defense. I sleep under the gentle watch of peace that remains. The night is fully settled now, and even my thoughts seem to understand that this is not the hour for noise. Earlier fear tried to speak louder, tried to convince me to stay awake, to stay alert, to stay ready for things that never arrived. Now its voice grows softer. I notice how fear loses strength when it is no longer fed by urgency. It does not vanish all at once, but it slowly steps back as peace takes its place. I am not forcing courage, I am not pretending confidence. I am simply allowing myself to be held without resistance. And in this space, fear begins to rest too. You do not shame my fear, you do not rush it away. You meet it with patience, with quiet assurance, with the presence that says I am safe. My body relaxes in response, my shoulders release what they've carried, my jaw loosens, my breath deepens, even my heartbeat feels less guarded. Fear no longer needs to protect me, it no longer needs to stay awake. It can lie down beside me, no longer in control, no longer afraid of the dark. I trust you with the unknown parts of tomorrow. I trust you with the outcomes I cannot predict. Nothing waits for me beyond this night that you have not already seen. If fear tries to return, it finds no panic here, only quiet confidence, only a gentle reminder that I am not alone. This night is not dangerous, this darkness is not empty. It is filled with care, with grace that watches silently, with love that does not withdraw. I allow my mind to slow further, no longer scanning for threats, no longer replaying warnings. Rest feels natural now, not earned, not fragile. I am not brave because fear is gone. I am at peace because I am covered. Fear fades not through effort, but through trust that settles deep. There is no need for defense when love is standing watch. I surrender the final edges of worry. I give you the questions without answers. I give you the fears that once ruled my nights. They no longer need to lead. Fear grows quiet in your presence. Anxiety loses its urgency. My soul rests in safety that does not fade with the dark. I sleep knowing that nothing moves without your notice. Nothing enters this space uninvited. Nothing threatens what you guard. And as the night continues, fear remains still. Peace remains strong. And I remain held. The night has reached its deepest quiet, the kind that feels wide and endless, where sound barely dares to move, and even memory begins to soften. This is the hour where I stop holding on. My body's heavy with rest now, not weighed down, but gently grounded. Each breath flows without effort, as if my soul finally trusts the dart. I no longer scan the silence for danger. I no longer brace myself for interruption. Nothing rushes toward me here. Nothing demands attention. I am simply allowed to remain. I feel myself covered, not hidden, not closed off, but wrapped in a care that stays awake while I drift further into rest. You remain present without noise, without movement, without command. Your nearness does not disturb my sleep. It protects it. The worries that once clung to my thoughts have loosened their grip. They do not disappear completely, but they no longer press. They wait quietly, no longer in control. I trust this covering through every moment, through shallow dreams and deeper rest, through the hours that pass unseen. Nothing slips through your care unnoticed. If my mind stirs, it finds reassurance. If my body shifts, it remains safe. Even in motion, there is peace. This rest is not fragile, It does not depend on silence staying perfect. It does not break if the night changes. It holds steady, anchored beyond circumstance. I release the final sense of responsibility. I am not needed to keep watch. I am not required to anticipate tomorrow. This night has already been entrusted. I feel my awareness slowly dim, not in fear, but in comfort, like light slowing gently, inviting deeper calm. You cover my thoughts, my heart, my breath. Nothing reaches me without passing through your grace. Nothing disturbs what you surround. If the night stretches long, your care does not thin. If morning comes sooner than expected, your care will still be here. It does not follow time, it holds it. I am covered until the morning, until light touches the edges of sleep. Covered through every unseen hour, covered without condition. If you'd like, share where you are listening from tonight. And if there is someone or something you'd like prayer for, you can leave it in the comments. You are not alone. The night now leans gently toward its ending, not rushing, not breaking the calm it has created. Everything feels suspended in care, as if even time respects this quiet. I am deeply still now, not only in body, but in places that once refused rest. My thoughts no longer wander far, they stay close, safe within this calm presence. Nothing from today presses on me anymore. Nothing demands resolution before sleep. The unfinished, the uncertain, the unanswered have all been laid down. They will wait for daylight. I sense your mercy surrounding this final stretch of night, not fading, not thinning, but remaining steady until the light returns. You have carried me through the darkness, and you will carry me until morning. Even now, as sleep deepens fully, I am not unaware. I am simply unafraid. There is no edge to fall from, no fear waiting beneath the rest. If dreams form, they are quiet. If my body stirs, it settles again with ease. Everything moves gently under your care. I trust this mercy to complete its work, not hurried, not interrupted, perfect in its patience. Nothing has been missed. You restore what was emptied. You mend what was strained. You calm what was restless. All without noise. All without demand. This mercy does not depend on my faith being strong. It does not require words or effort. It surrounds me simply because it is who you are, faithful, present, unchanging. As the night thins toward morning, I remain at rest. I do not anticipate the day. I do not fear it either. I stay here, held between dark and light. There is a softness of knowing that the same mercy guarding my sleep will greet my waking breath. Nothing will change when my eyes open. Only the light. Until the morning arrives, mercy keeps watch. Until the first sound of day, mercy remains near. There was no gap, no moment uncovered. I sleep without effort now, without resistance, without guarding my soul. I have been carried all night long. And the morning finally comes, it will come gently, as an extension of His peace and a disruption of it. Until then, I rest in mercy. I remain in grace. And am held through the final hours of night and into the new